Hello everyone, it's Martin Jansen with Jansen PC Info. This is my second video. In my first video, I talked about TimeShift, or basically a backup program in a period of time. So you set this up by using it several different ways. One is from the system report screen that you'll initially upon loading up of an operating system, Linux Mint Cinnamon 19.3, you can see that you can launch TimeShift from here. Another way is to actually go to your menu and then type in time, and you'll find that you have TimeShift here as well. So there's several different ways to approach and set up TimeShift. Now, TimeShift is important. I would recommend doing it after you do the first install of your update manager, after you update the system fully, because then you'll get the latest kernel set up as well. So let's launch TimeShift from the system reports or detected problems. Once again, you'll be prompted for the root password. Which I'm typing in now. And you'll come up to this setup wizard, which is, I always pick rsync. So we'll use next on that. Now it's estimating the system size. System size is kind of important. Under Linux Mint, it's going to be much smaller than under a similar Windows screen. Matter of fact, I've used other programs under Windows that run much slower because there's so much more operating system under Windows. Basically double what you'll find under Linux Mint. So by default, it picks SDA1, which is an ext4, and this is a 500 gig hard drive, so 591 is usable. We've got 482 gigabytes free. There's some gotchas, if you will, on using TimeShift. The devices with Windows file systems are not supported. NTFS, FAT. Remote and network locations are not supported. And snapshots are saved to a TimeShift partition. So basically you can take a USB drive and partition it or format it for ext4. And but in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to save it to the same hard drive that the operating system is on. So we'll do the next on that. Your next screen is snapshot levels. I usually pick weekly, but you have other options. And then you can click next on that. Now here's your option to select whether you want a complete backup of your home directory and or root. It says here to exclude all. What we're going to do is include all on our home directory and then exclude all on our root directory. Click next at this point. And you have a setup complete window that basically explains what you're going to be doing in the future. And at this point you can actually click create to create your first snapshot of your system. Now this is going to run for a while, and what we're going to do is show you what the screen looks like when that's complete. One of the things to notice here is that we have a rising time level. Actually, the whole thing will probably take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. And then at that time we'll show you what the screen has. I mentioned previously about a different backup program. The one I was referring to is called a Cronus true image backup, and it's been around for a long time. I had the 11 version. I'm sure they're up to 20 or whatever now. But basically, it was a very time-consuming application when I used it. I'm sure it's improved now. I'm sure that they have cloud backup, but nonetheless, why buy something for like 50 bucks when you can use Linux Mint and have a complete snapshot program built into the operating system? Just a point to think about. So I'm going to let this video run to the end, and I'll show you what the screen looks when it's complete. Thank you. So after you run TimeShift for the first time, this is what it looks like. You'll see that it's date stamped. This was done on today's date, the 5th of March 2020, and it's a completed backup of Linux Mint 19.3 Trisha, 0 tags. So this is after you complete it. You'll notice that your amount of space is dropped quite a bit. Not that much really. This is about a 7 gigabyte snapshot of the initial install. So this concludes looking at TimeShift for the Linux Mint 19.3 Cinnamon version. This is Martin Jansen signing off. Thank you.